Hey, everybody. Thanks again. Joining us again on our Thursday live stream. I appreciate everybody jumping on here. Some fun things to discuss and go over and talk about today. Um, Let me know first in the comments that you can hear and see me okay. Make sure I'm coming through good, and we'll get started here. I see Phil's joining in from South Carolina. Hey, Stephanie. Kimian, thanks for joining us again today. Appreciate it. Have some cool research stuff of a product that I think could do really well. Kristen says, "Show me the golf towels." I'm supposed to like tease you guys for a while first. That's what everybody does. We got to chit chat. I got to sneak it in slowly. Just kidding. Susan from Ryan's class, and thanks for joining us here. Gonna do a little bit of research today on, as you guys know, golf towels. I think it's a really good opportunity looking at the numbers on Etsy and kind of where things are trending, and very little competition is pretty neat. So that's an exciting product to talk about. Also, a little bit of an update that when we get into building a sample. Um, we have a little bit of an update to our designer and anywhere POD as well, where you can set your own background colors, which works really well, especially for like fully sublimated products. So it's great to be able to do different background colors for blankets, or in this case, golf towels. It'll work really well for that. So instead of having to upload a PNG image to change the color of your blankets, you can now just set that color in anywhere POD, and it's just going to be there for you. You don't have to upload additional images to be able to make that work. So excited to show that to you guys as well, because I think that's going to help out make that product building process a lot easier. So Stephanie said, "I forgot we even had sports towels to sell." Yep. Yeah. So there's actually not many people selling golf towels. Some people are using sport towels for it. There's a few suppliers now that have golf towels that we'll go over here in a bit. But I think it's as I said, a exciting opportunity. So, all right, let's just jump into it, and I will jump into some of the research and see what some people are doing for golf towels and what's working well, and then some ideas that I think could work really well to be able to kind of take it to the next level, add some additional personalization to it, and in particular, add some bundle options to it that I think could do really well as well. So let's start off here with the main product here that we're talking about. And I thought I had it pulled up, but I don't. So let me pull that up here. All right. There we go. And I'll jump back and forth between a couple things. I want to show you the numbers, a couple different spots on and some differences on how those are done with the Etsy research tool that we have in Anywhere POD as well, that I think is kind of interesting. So let me share screen here. Come on. All right. Share screen, and let me get the right. Okay. So just talking overall to begin with, this is one of the reasons why I think that golf towels are going to be really, really good. So when you take a look at this data in something like eRank, for example, you can see here that the search volume is good. Like, you got good search volume for it, but your competition is really well. So you're kind of seeing green on both sides. Anybody that's followed Anna, who we had on last week, she calls this like a golden keyword, right? Where you've got that higher search volume, but your competition is still very reasonable or low. So that is why when we ran across this keyword, it was like, hey, there's a really good opportunity here to dig into further. So the listing in particular also that we kind of talked about in the email that kind of set off all of this as well. And I should have mentioned earlier too, if you guys were on our live stream last week, I mentioned that this week we were going to be talking about a product that kind of has a little mini Christmas during the summer, May, June timeframe. We unfortunately weren't able to do that live stream this week, but we'll be talking about that one next week. So this is separate from that. If you caught that little teaser that I dropped last week, we ended up having to change our schedule around a little bit. So back to our golf towel, there's kind of your keyword research data. Taking a look here at that in particular listing. So this is the one that they are showing did 29K in the last 6 months on Etsy. I actually think their numbers are a little bit low on this listing. I think this listing has done more than 29K. So for those that don't know the way any of these tools work, Etsy doesn't provide sales data, right? So a lot of tools like eRank and Everbee and any of those, not knocking them at all, they're great tools, but they are compiling data from various sources and using that to try to estimate what the actual sales numbers are, right? So no one knows for sure this did 29K. I still say that number is very relevant because you're able, especially when you're in that platform, to compare it to other listings. So if you got this listing doing 30K and you got another listing doing 10, does that mean one did 30, one did 10? No, but you can generally assume that that means that the one that's doing 30K did about 3 times as much as the one doing 10K. So comparing it in relative terms is usually how I like to think about it. They are getting sales and they're getting good sales is kind of the other piece of it too. So if we take a closer look at the listing here, let me share this tab. You can see it is kind of a funny, kind of gag gift, right? Where it's got the dog faces on it with a little pattern on the background. They have multiple different colors that you can select from, so that's a plus. They also have the option of whether or not you want it to be customized or not. So that's another option that they have on here. And like most, they have under the personalization to send a photo via message once you place the order. So a lot of the ones that we're looking at, that's how they're doing it. Very similar to how you would do it with Anywhere POD, is have them do a message. So which supplier has golf towels? We'll get to that in just a minute. I'm going to walk through a couple of options that you have for suppliers here shortly. So that's one listing that I want to show you guys. So let's also pull this up here if I copy this title and let's jump over to Anywhere POD and come to our Etsy Analyzer tool. And let's just put that whole listing title in here. This is going to kind of narrow down our search even more, where in Anywhere POD, we can kind of see what that listing looks like. So you can see in Anywhere POD, this is based off of last 30 days. So our estimate is that this is doing 60,000 in the last 30 days. Now, I know that's high because it looks like they are running a 50% off sale pretty much all of the time. So you can kind of cut that number in half. Even still, figuring 30K in the last 30 days, like that's huge too. Now, as I was saying before, these numbers are estimates. So the way we're estimating this is mainly based on reviews, right? So we know for a fact that in the last 30 days, they've received 615 reviews. If you look at kind of the average of how many customers leave a review, Etsy's average is about 1 in 4 customers that buy will leave a review. So that's where we're then kind of backtracking into how many sales they received and what those sales numbers looked like. So even looking at that, we know based on the 615 reviews, like we can fairly confidently say that in the last 30 days alone, they did 6K. And then from there, if you want to extrapolate, is it, 1 in 4, 1 in 5, 1 in 10 that leave a review? Either way, we know this is doing really, really good dollar amount in sales, right? So I think the kind of E-rank estimate of 30K in the last 60 days or sorry, in the last 6 months is even kind of a little low. So it's definitely performing really, really well. So that's that listing. While we were looking at golf towels and kind of at research overall, kind of want to show you a few other things that I would normally kind of try to take a look at when doing a little bit of research and getting some other ideas that you can kind of change to make it your own or mix and match. So, one of the things that I would look at on this towel in particular is keeping the same concept, except also adding in the option for a personalized name. So if you guys have seen the repeating name blankets, there's some of those listings that like just sell like crazy, right? That is just the name repeating. Maybe there's an image in between. Doing something like that on a golf towel could work well. Combining that same concept though with this pet photo could do really well as well. So you could have the dog's name or owner's name or whatever um, along with that photo, and I think that could be a really good option. Um, so let me pull up here. I'm going to pull up incognito browser in Etsy. This is kind of one of the other things that I'll do when I'm looking for additional ideas or inspiration. If you do it in incognito, you're more likely to get more of a true result, similar to what your customers will get when they're searching. So in this case, let's just do a search here for golf towels. And we'll get our listings here. Sometimes I'll kind of look at these first ones that come up. They're not as important to me. You can see the one that we talked about is marked as being popular. There's a few embroidered options here, not really relevant to what we're doing, but you can still use those for inspiration and kind of do your own design. This one with the kind of your custom design here is not a good idea to do because that's against Etsy's policies to just have a blank your design here. So the main thing though that I would do after I pull this up is what you want to look at are your best sellers, right? So Etsy doesn't have a direct way but to look at best sellers, but there's kind of a workaround to be able to get that. So if we come over here to all of our filters, they have the option down here for star seller. So if I click on star seller, that's going to just filter out my listings and just give me star sellers, right? To change that to best sellers, you can't see it, but if I look up in my browser kind of URL bar, at the end, it'll say, is star seller equals true? We can just change that word star to best. Let me just do that here. Change that to best. And now that's going to filter out all of our listings and just show me best sellers, right? So this is for the term golf towels, and I'm looking for the best sellers under golf towels. So not a lot here. Like there's a couple of embroidery options. Here's the one already that we've looked at a few times. There's a lot of other stuff mixed in. Like you get a lot of these kind of ball stamps. It's not really what we're looking for. Some artwork. Like the level of competition here for just kind of golf towels in general is really low. Like there's not a lot of competition. This kind of monogram here where you've got your initials, that's another one that you kind of see that style design similar that could work really well on a golf towel. But you can see, just like I said, the level of competition. There's just not too many people doing golf towels. Part of that is until recently, it's been hard to find a supplier for them. There's only been a couple, and Printify has added that to their catalog now as early access. So we'll show you that here in a minute. But I think that's part of the reason you're not seeing a lot of competition is it hasn't been too widely available for quite a while. So this is another really good one. So you can see here, this is kind of combining a couple of themes that we've seen already, right? So this has that the golf balls and across like the monogram letters did that I showed. Especially if you added personalization to this, where they had the letters along with that symbol, that would work well. And then it's kind of combining the custom upload here of the in this case kids faces to the product. So um, that's an interesting example there. Now, I think I've got one more. Yeah, I wanted to show this too. So as I was looking at this, that when I'm looking at products like this, I'm like, okay, there's um, opportunity here. There's not a lot of competition. There's opportunity to do some unique designs that people haven't done yet, combining some multiple different ideas. Then I also get to thinking, especially a product like this that doesn't have a lot of sizes and colors to choose from. You can give them multiple color options, but then what other products can we offer them in the same listing that would be attractive to golfers, that can kind of raise that average order value, and be offered as a bundle in the listing as well? So there are some suppliers that offer golf balls. So that kind of got me looking at golf balls. Like, what if you did um, a golf towel and a golf ball, and they could pick either one or sell them as a bundle in your listing? Like, that could do really, really well as well. So here's an example of kind of more of a gag gift of that similar sort of thing on Etsy, where you've got the golf ball with a face. Like, being able to offer this as a bundle with that would be great. Um, so that's something I would look at doing. There's not a lot of golf products out there. I was hoping for like some ball markers and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll see some stuff like that coming soon. That's another neat idea. One other design I wanted to show you guys before we kind of jump in and start looking at our different options here. So you have this kind of design, which has been popular on other products. So when we're looking at this, I'm not just looking at what is on golf towels and golf balls. Since there's not a lot of competition, you want to kind of get some ideas from other places. This design here of the Best Daddy by Par is a similar design that I've seen sell really well on coffee mugs and a lot of different like t-shirts, a lot of different products kind of use this same concept of Best Daddy by Par. That if you took this and did maybe a design on a golf blanket, where they could optionally provide a photo upload to you, that could be a cool way, a nice option uh, on the towel as well. So if you do this, pair it with a golf ball, there's a lot of different options there that you can do that I think would work really, really well. So let me jump back into Anywhere POD here. And let's take a look at some of our different. So I'm just going to come in here. I've got all of my suppliers connected. So I'm going to be searching across the entire catalog. And this is a good way to be able to search to find, instead of having to go to each site individually, let's just search across the entire catalog just for anything that's golf related. So I can come up here to the product category and search products, and we'll just say golf here. So there's really right now 3 main products. We got a golf towel from T-Launch, a new golf towel from Printify that they've just recently added. It's still in early access, so you don't have the mock-ups available like you do on other products, but they do provide some PSD mock-ups. And then we've got our golf balls here as well. So what I would look at doing is like I said, would look at doing a bundle with the golf towels and golf balls between the two. So um, let's see now. Let's get into a design. I think I'll use the one from Printify, but it's going to be the same process if you use the one from T-Launch. The reason I'm kind of looking more at T-Launch takes a little bit to generate their mockups. Nothing wrong with it though. They do have some mockups that are fairly decent. I can show you one here, just kind of on a test product real quick that I was doing earlier. Of course, doesn't have a full design here, but they do have a few mockups. So you get 2 mockups, I guess, here. So They do have those mockups available though, whereas with Printify, you're going to need to get the PSD files that are from Printify and then build your mockups from there. Okay, so let's see what we can do here to do something similar to um, maybe this best daddy by par, and then have some personalization options for the name, and then let's see if we can pair that with a golf ball. Um, Again, that you could either do best daddy by par, you could do an image upload, any of that kind of stuff you could do on that image. So let me go back to our golf balls here. So let's start with our golf towel. So I'm going to go to start designing here. And I'm going to use our new little trusty button here to start creating a new design in Canva, which is going to open up a blank slate here for me. And I'm going to start. I haven't walked through this demo, so I'm kind of doing this design research live with you guys too. So I usually like to kind of start here and kind of just see what elements are even available. That you can see this one. This is one that was used all over the place. So this would be great if you wanted to do something here and then have initials on either side. Actually, that might be a good example to show you guys too. That's a lot easier to set up, and this would actually work really well. This would actually work pretty well on the golf ball too, with the initials. So you've got that one there. So searching through these usually isn't a bad idea. Also, wouldn't be too hard to kind of come up with combine a couple of these elements that I saw up here, like using this with a golf club will get you very close to kind of this portion of the design here that has the golf hole with the heart, and then you can just kind of add the text in around it. The other thing we can do is search on either Creative Fabrica. So we can do best daddy by par. Best daddy by par is a lot of t-shirt designs that I'm seeing here. This one could possibly work here on the right. Work well for a towel. Here's a few different design options here that could work well on a towel, just as a general Father's Day golfing towel. Like that's a good idea. This one here, best papa by par. I like that concept of doing best papa by par and then adding a design variation for like a best daddy by par. So you're heading both grandpas and dads. With Father's Day right around the corner, both of those would be really good options to do as well. This one here would work well on a golf ball too, I think. Best dad by par. That shape and design would work really well on a golf ball as well, I think. And then you can do the same thing on Etsy. So if I do best dad by par, and then what I would do is come over here to filters, and let's come down to digital downloads. And there we go. There's several here that would work well. I want to just see the video get out. Man, I don't like so Etsy used to have when you would hover over it would play the video, and when you hovered off it would go back, and it looks like it's not doing that anymore. I don't really like that. Yeah, here's exactly what I was talking about. So you've got multiple designs here: best dad by par, best grandpa by par. So you can give them, using Anywhere POD, add those as two design variations, and they can select what they want between the two. On that, you could almost just even do a white towel, give them the option between the two, and you're all set. So okay, so there are several different design ideas. I think I'll go with the one of just doing the initials. That'll be pretty simple to show you guys on how you can create that with multiple different colors in Anywhere POD. And then let's also walk through adding golf balls and adding that as an option for a bundle. So if I jump back over here to Canva, let's finish out this design here. Okay, so let's get this kind of centered here. Can you make your mouse bigger, please? Yeah, I'll have to look and see if I can do that. Phil was asking if I can make my mouse bigger. So when I'm saying, I'm saying looking here and trying to circle with my mouse. I'll see if I can do that for future live streams, make it bigger and maybe change the color or something so it's a bit more prominent. Okay, so let's I'm just going to add this element here from Canva, and then we should just need a couple of text elements here. So let's just go with a C on this one. And we're going to bring this up to this area here. And we just need the one letter. So we'll kind of shrink that down. Now, I think something just kind of regular blocky like that's going to work well. So I'm probably just going to go with like Calistoga here. That doesn't look too bad. You could use, since this is going to be personalized, you're going to want to use a font that is available in Anywhere POD. So you have a few different options. Let's see what some other common ones that I use are this clicker script. That doesn't look too bad either. So let's see here if we, did that duplicate for me? Nope, come on. Let's go duplicate, and we're gonna bring this over here. So this will give me 2 and have them lined up. So we'll just go with an M on this one. So CM, you can use JL, you can use any kind of initials that you want. What size do you make the Canva template? It won't let me make one the same size as the T-Launch Golf Towel template. So the easiest option you have here, Kristen, let me pull that up so everybody can see what we're answering here. In Anywhere POD, if you go to design for that product, there's a button right here that if you click on create new design, you never need to worry about what size do I need to make the design in Canva. It's just going to open up Canva for you at the design that you need. And you don't have to try to copy dimensions over and then figure out, do I need to export it, 1x or 2x or 3x? It's just going to be there for you. So if you take a look here, this one was created at 1681 by 2450. So I think that would have been like a 3x design, right? But again, I don't know, because you don't have to worry about keeping track of that anymore with the new Canva integration. So, okay, so we got C&M here. I'm just going to rename this to Golf Towel Demo because I always I have a lot of designs in Canva that are still just listed as untitled, and it gets a little unruly. So trying to get better at renaming my designs here. Okay, so let's import this to Anywhere POD and see if we need to make any adjustments to it. It's possible that we will. So let me jump back into Canva here before I do that. Some elements we have found from Canva don't import as well as other elements. So if you catch our, I guess it was the live stream from 2 weeks ago, we covered how you can import your kind of main design and your layers separately if you need to. I don't think I'll probably need to on this one, but that's kind of what I'm looking for here. So let's jump back over to Anywhere POD, and I'm going to refresh this here so I get my ad from Canva. I could also use the Canva button over here on the right under add layers. That works fine as well. So let's go add from Canva. You can see they have not created a placeholder for that yet, or a thumbnail, but it's still fine. It should still import all of the layers correctly. Perfect. That looks pretty good. It looks like it may have shifted this one, or I had it off a little bit. So I'm going to adjust that just to scotch. There we go. Okay. So it imported those fine. I've got those both here now with C and M. So let's go ahead and mark those as personalized. Perfect. And I'm also going to put the C on top here, so it's in kind of the right order for me as well. If you are selling this on, if you're on Shopify, you would want to fill in your option title here. So I would have like first initial, and then here we'll have second initial. Okay, and that should be all there is to select. So we're good to go there. So we'll just go to create product. So this is going to create that product for us. Like I said, there's not really mockups available with Printify. You can, in Printify, download their templates, and they'll have some options there. They usually have some PSD files that you can use to generate mockups. You also can usually take those that they give you, especially with this product. That's just kind of a straight front-facing product. You could create that as a mockup template in Anywhere POD pretty easily, and then kind of be able to generate your own mockups on the fly. So that is what I would recommend doing if you want to use Printify for your supplier on these. That's probably your best option. So we can see here we don't really have anything for size and color. So we're going to be able to use these two fields without a problem to generate our other options that we want to add. So if we want to do multiple colors, what we can do now with our new background color picker in Anywhere POD is we can adjust those colors directly in Anywhere POD. So this is a sublimated product. So it works just like blankets do, where the kind of starts the base as white, and then they basically sublimate and put the design across the entire top of the product. So that's why we can use the background color picker to change what color the product's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and use this color field. We're going to say this is the white. And since I'm going to be adding golf balls to this too, under size, I'm going to say that this is our towel, and let's rename this to product so that we're set up when we add our golf balls. So we'll hit save on that. And towel white. Perfect. So now what we can do is go to add variants. And I want my golf towels. We're going to search here for golf. And we'll go start designing. Now here, what I want to do is I'm going to go add from library, and I'm going to select the last design that I just did. So it's this one that we just did here at the top. That's going to preload the design and make sure my design is laid out the same between each color that I do. So now for our background color, I have this background color picker here, and I can select essentially any color that I want to offer. So we could say this is a green option. And so if we hit update product now, that's going to add that variant option to our list here. And I can say this is going to be our green towel. And then this is going to be our, again, our towel. And we'll save that. So now they have the choice between white and green. I would essentially just repeat that process for each additional color that I wanted to offer. So like if we wanted to do black with white, we would need to change the color of the design in Canva. But we can do, offer with these towels, we can offer any color that we want and be able to fill that out to anything that we want. So if we look at the one here that was kind of doing well, our kind of initial example here, you can see they have 6 colors. I probably would not go for any more than 6. The more options you give, especially if you're adding bundles and everything else to this, it can start to get a little bit more complicated for the customer. So if you haven't read about the paradox of choice, it's come up a few times during our live streams. I would recommend reading about it. Basically what it is the more options you give your customers, the more choices they have to make, the lower conversions that you get. So if I had 20 different colors here, and what's the difference between some colors that are getting close, it's going to get confusing for the customer. They're not going to know what to select, and they're just going to kind of bail from the process. So keeping your kind of color selection to something that's more manageable usually works a lot better. Okay, so let's add our golf balls to this, and then we should have time to be able to answer any questions that anybody might have, and go from there. So we got our towel in white and green. We're going to go here to add variants, and we're going to find our golf balls now. So when you click on add variants, it's going to take you to kind of the initial default category of your first product. In this case, it's just showing our towel category, but we can browse our entire catalog and add anything to this that we wanted. So if we wanted to add an option here for a shirt or a polo, we could do that in the same listing. In this case, we're looking for golf balls. So I'm just going to come up here and do a search for golf again. And that's going to give our golf balls here in the middle. So I'm going to go to start designing. And I'm going to try something here. We'll see how well it lines up and how much more adjusting I need to do. So we want to offer, if we're going to offer this same design on a golf ball, we can either open that design back up in Canva and resize it down to 238, which is what this one asks. I'm going to kind of see how this imports as layers from Canva. This might work. I may need to make some adjustments though. So let's see. So we'll say import layers. And so it threw off some of my placement, but it still brought everything in here correctly. So again, I could either make these adjustments in Canva, or I can do them here. The reason why it threw it off in particular on this is going to be the size of, wow, it really messed up the height on this font box here. There we go. So let's see if we can actually adjust that here under position. And let's put that to the top. And let's change our height down to, say, 100 and see what that gives me. There we go. And then we can kind of make that bigger. So I would do that. What I'm now going to do, I'm going to delete my M here, and I'm going to duplicate my C just so I don't have to make the same adjustment to that one. And then change this to my M, and it's all set. So I need to mark these again as personalized since they were not personalized. Perfect. So again, I could have made those adjustments here like I just did, or it also would have been fine to make those adjustments in Canva and then bring it in. Either way, it's going to work just fine for you. Okay, so here's our golf ball variant. That should be all set. So we'll go to update product. Now this product has been around for a little while, so we should get some mock-ups on this one from Printify here. Yep, and there's our mock-ups with the CM. Fairly decent ones. Those kind of look nice. Okay, so if we come down to our variant options here, you can see we don't really need these other options. So I'm going to say for my product, we'll just say golf balls. So color here, we could either leave as 6-piece, so it's kind of clear that they're getting 6 of them, or we don't really need that field. There's not a different color on them, so you could put white since the golf balls are white, or you just do like NA. Kind of up to you on how you do those. Either way will work. So we'll save that. Perfect. Okay, now we want to add these as a bundle. So let's go to add bundle here, and we want our towel in our bundle. And let me refresh that. So I selected art here. I don't want to do that because I want both of them added to the same bundles. I don't think I need to select my 2 artwork options here. I just want to go golf towel, add to bundle. You'll see it show up down here with 2 colors, 1 size. That's perfect. And then my golf ball, and I'll say add to bundle. So we got our towel and bundle. So this will just be towel and bundle. This name is just for internal purposes. So we'll hit save bundle here. And now if we come down here, we'll see that listed under our bundles. we can click view on that and see what our variants are going to show up in Etsy for this product. So we already said they're going to have towel and golf balls, and then we want to know what in that same drop down what they're going to select for the product here. So you could do something like towel and golf ball, maybe golf ball set, however you wanted to word that. So we'll say these are towel and golf ball. And then here for color, we'll just do green and white. This price that's going to be set here by default, we're going to set it to the same price that we had. It's going to be just the addition of those two. So I think I had one at 2070. I forget what the other one was. We'll look in a minute, but just added the price of my towel and my golf ball and put it here. If you want to offer a discount for buying the bundle, this is where you could do it. So you'd give them like maybe we want this to be, they get a couple of dollars off if they purchase it as a bundle. So we could call that 59 and I hit enter, which saved it. So there we go. So we could go, let's say 59.49 on these. You could use these bulk updaters. I've only got a couple of them here. I would just type them in. We do have a way to bulk update prices or variant names if you needed to. Again, I would just kind of type them in because there's only a couple of them here. All right, so we'll save that. So now they're going to have the option of the product of towel or golf ball or the towel and golf ball set. And then they can select the color of white or green. I would probably change this. Let's change this to towel color, right? Because if they're just doing the golf ball, it doesn't matter. And if they're doing the set, it's still only the towel that's affected there. So I would change that to say towel color, I think. And let's save that. Okay. So that should be set there. Perfect. So one of the advantages of using, some of you may know that in Etsy, they have the option to do bundles now where you can add them as separate listings and then set it up as a bundle in Etsy. The downside, in my opinion, to using the Etsy bundler is that it doesn't show up in the main buying section. So they only see that you offer a bundle if they kind of scroll down further. Whereas with the Anywhere POD bundles, let me go to create new Etsy listing. With the Anywhere POD bundles, it's actually part of the listing. So if we come down here to the variants, you can see the towel and golf ball is just another variant that's going to show up in those drop downs when the customer's selecting. So when they go to select what color or product they want, they're automatically going to see, oh, hey, I can get this as a bundle and get both of them. And you're going to get a higher conversion rate that way. Same thing on Shopify. They're going to see it right there in the drop down and be able to select from it very easily right there. So, okay, cool. I think that's looking good. And we still have some time. What questions do you guys have? Let me know. Hopefully this was useful for everybody today. I'd love to hear any feedback you have. If there's anything, we kind of covered a lot today, right? So fairly good example with bundles, a lot of different research stuff. So curious if this was useful for you guys. If there was anything in particular that stuck out for you, I would love to hear that as well. And of course, if you have any questions, I want to take some time to answer any questions that you might have. Doesn't have to be about today's topic, anything to do with Anywhere POD, Etsy, Shopify. Happy to help answer, clear up anything that we can for you guys. So let me know in the comments here. And let's see. Yeah, Phil said no one else can do this. Brilliant, huge time saving and simplifying feature. Yeah, so I think several things that we showed you today that the bundling, even some of the background color stuff, really Anywhere POD is the only place you can do some of that, especially adding. I really think there is a huge opportunity really on any product that you create, especially if the variants aren't overly complicated. So if you're doing something with lots of colors and lots of sizes like apparel, this can be a little bit more tricky strategy to employ. But on virtually any other product, I think there is a huge opportunity for um, for adding other products and bundles. So it's a mindset that not a lot of people think of when they're doing their research because it's not possible from anywhere but anywhere POD. So I would encourage you to kind of try to start thinking that way. As you're doing research for different things, think about like what other products would this customer be interested in buying with a same or similar or coordinating design to it. And I think it could go really, really well, and be a huge benefit to the amount of sales that you're able to receive. Especially now with this, you can add both of these products um, to your primary image. So I would add the towel and the golf balls to your primary image, so they see that like, hey, this is something they're going to get both on. It's going to show your lowest cost in the search results. So, like in this case, it's going to show 1968. Of course, you'd probably change that to something else, but it'll show that as the price on the listing next to the photo of the towel and the golf balls. And then when they click into it, they'll see they kind of have the option for either one or the set, and it can go really well. So one of the reasons I really, really, really like doing that and think there's a huge benefit to that is you're getting them for the entire gift, right? So people are buying this for their dad for Father's Day, or maybe the wife's buying it for their dad or whatever. So $20 on a Father's Day gift. There's a lot of people that are going to spend more money than that on a gift. So if they okay, well, I've got half my gift now. I need to go find the other half from somebody else or from somewhere else. Whereas with this, you're kind of turning into a one-stop shop for them, so that they're able to, yes, get the golf towel, but hey, I can complete my entire Father's Day shopping now by adding in the golf balls and the towels and just purchasing them both, and then I'm done. I don't have to go search for another gift to kind of complete the gift for Father's Day. So I think thinking of it in that type of strategy of being able to do more product grouping products where you're adding multiple products, and then if it makes sense, adding those as a bundle, I think there's a huge opportunity there to really be able to help increase that average order value, right? Not everybody's going to take it, but even if it's, 1 in 10, I mean, that's a huge plus. If you're getting, making an extra $20 for anybody that picks up the golf balls, like that can be a huge deal. Okay, let's see here. What questions do we have? Thanks, Diane. Training was great. Great training on the new Canva integration. Another thing I'm super excited about. I'm still over the moon on where we're at with Canva, especially now being able to import PNG and the layers separately. It really opens up the possibilities on what you can do with it. Can be huge. As always, huge thank you. Can you select colors with the number of the color? Yeah, so I think you mean using like the hex code. So yes, you should be able to do that. So like if I come in here and I want it all black, I think I can go. Yep, just zeros, and it'll so any hex code you can get a hex code from wherever, copy it, paste it in here, and it'll do the color. This is also the new color picker that's available. If you haven't looked yet, let me put this back to a color that's gonna be able to see it here. This is the new color picker that's available for our font color selection as well. So it's a lot more dynamic than what our old one was, and I think will be a lot better. So we got that all updated. Would you print on both sides of a golf towel? I see that's an option on the T-Launch towel. I would double check and make sure it's not any additional cost. Depending on what the cost was, I would, especially if you're doing a color background, because then the front and back are both color instead of just the top, if that makes sense. Let's see. Sophie said, we'll create mini towels and golf balls for myself. That reminds me, that was the other thing that I think is a really good opportunity. Everybody always, when they think about golf and who's playing golf, they always think about the man and the Father's Day and that sort of thing. Mother's Day is right around the corner too, and there are a lot of ladies that play golf now as well. And I think that is a very underserved. Like I think this is a kind of underserved niche in general, but I think especially the like female golf towel. When I was searching through, do I still have that tab open here? Let's see here. I think I do. Yeah, here. So this was our search for bestsellers for golf towels, right? How many of these listings look like they're geared towards? I think there was one that had like a pink golf bag right here. This one, this Ashley. That again, I don't like how Etsy's showing those videos. There we go. So this one here, Ashley. Um, this was like one of the few listings that I found that was actually geared towards females and towards moms. So I think there's a lot of opportunity using um, same design concepts like we talked about, but gear it towards Mother's Day. Like you could get yourself in a really cool kind of sub niche there that I think is very underserved. That you might be surprised at how well that does. Um, Super cool and helpful demonstration. Yeah, excited to try it. Very cool. Is there a catalog which connect with color, name with the color? So I think you're referring to like color hex codes. Let me jump back here. I think you're referring to like color hex codes of what would correlate with like green or specific colors that you might be looking for. The easiest way to look that up is I would just Google it. So if you, I think probably just search for like color hex code names. Let's see. Yeah. So any of these I am sure is going to give me a result of, yeah. So probably this one might be more detailed than you want, but showing different hues along with what their hex code kind of correlation is, which really this could be a good resource if you're looking for names for the customer to be able to select from. It could work well to kind of go through this list as well. But there are several different ones. Again, if you just kind of Google color hex code names, that should give you something to go off of. All right, let me get back out of this. I just learned the other day that bundling saves on Etsy fees and that they charge the 20-cent listing fee on all variant sales. So any sale that you make, Etsy is going to charge that 20-cent listing fee on every sale. That's just part of their fee. If you do group listings, yes, it does save on listing fees. If I was doing design variations, I still think there are times that it makes sense to group those in one listing, but also list them as two separate listings, if that makes sense. So we talked about this one here, where you have best dad by par, best grandpa by par. You could create those as a group listing, which I definitely would, so they can select between the two. But then if you want to gear one more towards dad and one listing more towards grandpa, you can duplicate those listings in Etsy. You're going to have to pay that 20-cent listing fee twice, but you're going to be able to optimize each one independently. And it's kind of a good way to do A/B testing as well to see which one's going to kind of perform better. Wouldn't do that on everyone. These are similar enough. Actually, I may not do it on this one, but for some designs, it does make sense to be able to swap out that primary image and kind of optimize it for a specific design when you're doing artwork variations like that. Okay. Well underserved lady golfers. Absolutely. I agree. Let's see. You're colorblind. That would make sense why you're needing to know the names. That absolutely makes sense. Yeah. So Googling for that, that looks like there's several resources there that should be able to help with that. Okay. Cool. I'm not seeing any more questions, and we're right at that hour mark. So I appreciate everybody joining today. I always forget to ask if you are on Shopify and you haven't left us a review on the Shopify App Store yet, please go to the Shopify App Store, find Anywhere POD, and leave us a honest review there. We greatly appreciate it. It really helps us out a lot. So if you haven't done that yet and you're on Shopify, please, it just takes a couple minutes. Please go do that for us. It would be a huge help for us. And I am not good at remembering to ask for that. So if you could do me a huge favor and do that, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. I think it was a great live stream. I'm glad everybody was able to join. Hopefully this was useful to you guys. Make sure to tune in next week. We have an even bigger winning product that I think is a bigger opportunity than this, that I'm really excited to talk about. Was hoping to do it this week, had to push it a week. Really excited to show that to everybody and get that in front of you. So in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, always feel free to reach out to customer support. We're more than happy to help anytime. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.